Thank you all for joining us here at the Jungle in Riverside, California, home of the Tigers. 8-1 ball club have clinched the National Central Conference and are the #1 ball club according to the poll in Southern California, and also the #1 team in the entire state heading into the final week of the season.
That's right. I mean, first things first, let's congratulate Tom Kraft and the rest of this Tiger team here on a successful season thus far, but it's not over. An 8-1 season, 5-0 in conference play. It's not enough for this RCC team. I mean, it's a team with championship state title aspirations.
Nothing gets better than last week's win when we took down the Chaffey College Panthers, a ball club that was the last unit in our way in order to reach the National Central Conference playoffs. We're going to go ahead and send it down to the field for the playing of our national anthem. Again, thank you all for joining us here at Riverside, California, home of the Tigers. Thank you all for joining us on the National Sports Radio station on Spreaker.com. We are a mere moments away from kickoff between the Tigers and the Citrus College Owls. And Dan, final words before we get going here. The Tigers are among the best in the country.
They are among the best. I mean, with the 8-1 record in one of the toughest conferences in the nation, you've got to give them the credit. But about tonight's Citrus College Owls, it's a team with a dynamic quarterback. It's a team that constantly is going to be throwing all out throughout the game. It's a team that struggled 3-6 in the season, 2-3 in league play. But let's see if they could pull an upset here tonight.
It would be the upset of colossal proportions and would resurrect what has otherwise been an extremely disappointing campaign for a ball club that has lost 4 consecutive football games, all of which are in conference play, for them to fall to only 2-3 in the National Central Conference. Jimmy Camacho, who last week banged through one of the longest field goals in junior college football history last week, a 53-yard attempt, was one of his 4-for-4 makes here in last week's game against Chaffey College. Back deep to receive is one of the best to do it, if not the best. It's Jimmy Smith, with 3 return touchdowns, 2 of which were in the kick return game, is standing at his own 5. Camacho approaches and sends it away, an end-over-end boot. And it wobbles 5 yards deep in the end zone, will bounce off of Smith's hands and in for a touchback. Larry Cutbirth trots onto the field, and for Citrus College, this will be, for a majority of their football team, the last game that they will suit up the pads and play, including number 6, Larry Cutbirth. An emotional, per se, final game for a man who's been oh so illustrious here for the football team.
It is emotional. Right now, you're just playing for pride with that 3-6 record. It defines no playoffs this year.
And not even a bowl game appearance, even if they were to win tonight, which is somewhat of an aberration. Shotgun snap goes to Cutbirth, and down he goes. Mickey Fangatua will bring him down for the 7th sack this season for Fangatua, who doesn't have a whole lot of scholarship looks so far, but early on, Larry Cutbirth taken down in the backfield.
A strong start for RCC. Fangatua right there doing nothing fancy, just using sheer power, closing that pocket down.
It was
sack
only a
right there.
4-man rush, and they got to the quarterback. Larry Cutbirth for Citrus College. He sets not only season but career totals. He has broken numerous Citrus College records, including passing yards, passing touchdowns, and also has 6 in one game against Riverside last year. As Cutbirth guns it to the far side, incomplete, going to his number one target, Errol Romney, make it 3rd and 17 from inside their own 20.
Riverside's playing very conservatively, starting off the ball game, playing a zone. They want to see what Cutbirth and the Owls bring out on offense.
Trishawn Broughton, who leads the team in interceptions and pass deflections, is out. He is academically ineligible for tonight's ball game. So into the game is Dahone Wise as the number 2 cornerback. On a 3rd and 17, Cutbirth operates out of the gun. Snap is back, pump faking a screen. Pass is caught by Emmanuel Pooler, and down he goes in the backfield. A helmet comes off as the pass was complete to the running back, but no, sir, make it a 3 and out by the Riverside defense forced on that Citrus College offense.
That was a nice tackle by Cartland Fort, a defensive back out of Cottonwood, Utah. Good play right there.
Well, Riverside, we all know about their defensive dominance. Many could regard them as the number 1 ball club in the country defensively, outside of maybe in East Mississippi. This is a team that has forced numerous turnovers and has scored 41 points on the defensive side this season with 5 pick sixes and a couple safeties forced. It's been a phenomenal year by that Riverside defense. Yet another 3 and out forced. Mickey Fangatua, and now even Cortland Fort, a backup cornerback, getting the action on that play.
Yeah. Well, can't wait to see Nicholas King come out. Last week had an impressive week, a 20 of 30, over 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. Good reps last week for sure.
And a number of those passes went to his number 1 target, Isaac Whitney. And there are some USC representatives in attendance tonight.
Yeah, actually, Clay Holtman, USC offensive coordinator, is in the house.
I'm sure he also would have loved to see the play of Trishawn Broughton. But Isaac Whitney's into the game. He's pushed out to the right-hand side. The Tigers operate from the 48 of Citrus College, going from left to right. Hand off to the pistol back. That will be Foster on the opening scamper of the day. Gains about 1. Riverside 8-1 on the season, including 3 impressive victories. First to Mount Sac. Long Beach City College was next, and Chaffey College the final victim, and here we are. No playoff implications in today's ball game, but a lot on the line for some of these backups, including Jawan Thomas, who locates in the slot. It's a 2nd down and 8. Nicholas King checks the play and calls new ones at the line. Play clock is down to 7, and a play action fake. King off of the pistol set, scrambles to the near side, will scurry out of bounds at around the 44-yard line, make it a gain of 2, 3rd and 5 upcoming.
Very interesting how Riverside is starting off this ball game. Coach Tom Kraft electing to go with 2nd stringers, 3rd stringers out there. Resting those 1st stringers for next week, huh?
The argument is for next week in the playoffs, but there still is a lot on the line. Butte College, who last week upended American River to fight their way into the postseason, they lost to Siskiyous College, and there's nothing like going into the playoffs on a downward spiral. Shotgun snap goes to King, looking right, fires that way, and has Michael Stallone, who reaches for the 1st down marker, and he's got it for a gain of 5. He had to use all of his 5'8" frame in order to move the chains. It's a 1st and 10 for Riverside.
The Redlands product, Michael Stallone. He's on the lower part of the depth chart as far as a wide receiver, but a guy who always seems to step up when Nicholas King needs him the most, right there, reaching for that 1st down.
Stallone has been oh so reliable, but they will call the play back. That would have been the first catch for Michael Stallone of the last 3 weeks, but they'll call that one a false start penalty. Why in the world do they throw a flag after the play is already over?
Our issues with the officials continue, huh? All season long.
This is the most penalized ball club in the National Central Conference and among the worst. Bottom 5 in the entire state of California in the penalty department. Make it a 3rd down and 10. Nicholas King from the 47 of Citrus College. 1st down make is all the way inside the 40. Shotgun snap and a flag.
Another flag.
That'll be a false start on the offense. Already 10 yards worth of penalties. But, boy, Citrus College, for a ball club that has only put together 3 wins, defensively they are among the best, especially led by a man named Marquise O'Leary, who's back there at safety, among the best in the state of California.
We can't call him a shutdown corner because he plays safety, but he acts like it. A guy who's always got a knack for the ball, and he always seems to shut down a lot of the best receivers.
King will whip it out to the far side, and that pass incomplete, make it a 4th down, and the penalties are costing these Tigers valuable possessions. And onto the field is Anthony Zamora to kick it away.
Right off the bat, RCC will play a game of field position right now. Ball on the 47-yard line. They'll try to pin Citrus back.
Well, just
there,
because, absolutely. Yeah. Just because that we have no playoff aspirations that will change in this game, win or loss, they still have to work on a number of normal football aspects.
Right.
As Anthony Zamora's punt will roll out of bounds at around the 3 of Citrus College. That'll be a punt of, what is that, a punt of 49? Fantastic by Anthony Zamora, but those are some of the things that I'm sure Riverside is looking to work on. Special teams, as they rank number 1, actually, in the state of California in special teams, but those third downs have been atrocious for us this season, under 35%, and you really need to work on that as next week, here comes Ventura in the playoffs.
Yeah, sustaining the drives is the most important key, because once they get in the red zone, it's a almost for sure bet they're scoring. Last week going 7-7 in red zone.
And that was part of a 49-21 victory against Chaffey College. And the offense, for one of the first times, they put up the second most points all season, and the first since week number 1. It was a great time in order to put up a nice little 49-point outing here for the Riverside Tigers, as Emmanuel Pooler will run for about a gain of 3. And it's also a nice practice session, if you will, for tonight's game, as that defense that played extremely well against Chaffey until after halftime needs to be able to stop a quarterback to the ability of Larry Cutbirth.
You bring up such great points, because Coach Tom Kraft is the type of guy who's not going to give anybody time off.
Of course.
Unless it's a situation like this, but guess who's playing? It's a second stringers, third stringers, guys who need to get better for next year and even in the playoffs if needed because of injuries.
Absolutely. Into the game is Cortland Fort as the number 2 cornerback. Terrence Solomon crowds the line of scrimmage. Shotgun snap. Cutbirth airs it out deep down the field. 101. Did Ray Ford get the pick? It looks like he did. That'll be an interception for Ray Ford. Pick number 6 this season for the sophomore. He'll lead the team in that category. Larry Cutbirth going early for the big play, and he got his hands caught in the cookie jar. That's an interception.
You got that right. During the week, I watched a lot of film on Cutbirth, and I noticed he was very comfortable in the pocket. His release point looks very professional. The back there, pinned against his own goal line, you could tell he's got a little bit of tension right there, just throwing it up in the air for grabs. Ray Ford with that interception.
That'll be the 19th pick for the Riverside Tigers this season, and they rank number 1 in the conference with almost that many picks only in 5 games. Denzel Foster off a cloud of dust gains about 2. And Larry Cutbirth, you talk about his pinpoint accuracy, but he's never faced the Riverside Tigers defense.
You got that right. A guy who, despite you could say he's struggling early off in this game, has a ton of records for Citrus College.
Passing yards both in a season and over a career, passing touchdowns, and even had 6 of those scores in last week's outing against Riverside College. No score here with 10:22 to go. Handoff goes to Foster, and he'll scurry his way out to around the 30.5-yard line of Citrus College, already on the outside brink of field goal range. And Jimmy Camacho knows a thing or two about long field goals this season.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's 16 of 19 this season. Number 1 in Southern California as far as the kicking game.
He has the most field goals in the state of California, and he's about as efficient as any. No missed PATs this season, and in the junior college ranks, that is absolutely impressive.
It's partner. A rarity, too.
It's a rarity. As Jermel Walker's pushed out to the right-hand side. It is a 4-wide set here on a 3rd down and 3. King takes the snap. Looking left, wings it that way, and the pass is caught by Darius Hunter, who will scurry his way out of bounds, make it a 5-yard pickup, move the chains. It's the first 3rd down conversion for the Tigers today.
From what we've witnessed so far, Coach Tom Kraft has elected to go back to the basics. Nothing out of the ordinary for Riverside's offense.
This will be the last game for Citrus College of the regular season, and their year will be done after tonight's ball game. They have a heck of a lot to play for heading into 2015, including a number of defensive starters that will return in next year's campaign. They will try to avenge what has been a disappointing finish to this season. King will wing it out to the near side. Pass is caught. Walker got it for 5. Make it a 2nd and short.
Coach Tom Kraft tonight seems like he's going to give the ball to Nicholas King and allow him to sit in that pocket and find his receivers. Usually he's the type of guy who will go through all his